Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling some seriously creative world building.
It's going to be a wild one.
It really is. You guys sent in this Black Bank game design document, and let me tell you, it is a wild ride. So imagine a bank inside a volcano where everyone's got amnesia. It's got fantasy, it's got finance, it's got mystery. I mean, come on. What's not to love, right?
It's really interesting how all those elements actually kind of blend together in this. Because it's not just like a throwaway, like, oh yeah, and there's amnesia. Like, the amnesia mechanic is really baked into how the game plays out.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. The design doc, it mentions that there are different levels of amnesia, so what's the thinking there?
Well, I think it's, on the one hand, it's just like a good, like, strategic, like, character building thing. Like, how much do you remember when you start? And, like, imagine waking up and you don't even remember your name. Like, do you want to recover those memories, or do you kind of like the idea of starting fresh and, like, figuring out who you were as you go?
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting.
And I'm assuming the severity of the amnesia, like, really affects how you go about, like, those choices that you just laid out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, say you have really bad amnesia, right? You could have all these skills and powers that you can't access until later in the game, potentially. So are you going to play it safe and stay in the bank? Or are you going to go out into the world and hope something jogs your memory?
Okay.
The design doc plays with that a lot.
So we have to talk about this bank, the Black Bank.
Mm.
What kind of bank exists inside Volcano?
So it's described as this imposing structure of black limestone lit by torches that burn with some kind of magical fire. And it's clearly meant to be kind of ominous, like almost like a prison.
Okay.
Which feeds back into that idea of like disorientation with the amnesia. Like you wake up in this place, you don't know how you got there.
Yeah, and it's a bank. It's not like a fun place.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of heightens all of that. But on the other hand, there is this whole other side to the Black Bank, because it's not just a bank, right? There's like a whole town built inside the bank.
It's not just like a vault.
Right.
Yeah, the design doc mentions like this whole town that exists within the walls of the Black Bank.
Exactly. And it's not just like a couple shops and houses. Like this is a bustling town. It's got like its own locations and characters and societies. It sounds really cool.
Give me the highlights.
Yeah.
What are some of the notable I guess, locales within this town?
Yeah, so there's this place called the Foracae, and it is a Roman-style bathhouse. Communal bathhouse.
Communal bathhouses in a volcano. Okay, you have me at Volcano Bank, but now I'm like really into this game. Like, what could possibly go wrong in a communal bathhouse inside a volcano?
I mean, the document does say there's a chance of encountering slime creatures while you're
No, of course.
doing your business.
While you're doing your business, so maybe bring your sword with you.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to be prepared. But, like, on a more gameplay level, it sounds like you can find useful items in the 4K.
Okay.
So it's a good way to, like, work in resource management.
Ooh, I like that. Like, oh, I just found a health potion in the bathhouse. No big deal.
Yeah.
What else we got? This design doc, I can feel it. It is packed with these little interesting locations.
Oh, yeah, there's tons. So, like, there's one called Heroes Hall Tavern, which is this, like, rough and tumble dive bar run by this guy named King Buddy, who, of course, insists on being called King.
King Buddy, the self-proclaimed king of beers, I'm assuming.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And, like, the document mentions, like, 3 times that there's no fighting allowed in the tavern, which I just love.
It makes you wonder what kind of clientele. Or maybe it's just the food.
Or maybe both.
Yeah, that tracks.
And speaking of food, we can't forget Nicolette, who's a goblin waitress with a serious chip on her shoulder if you forget to tip.
Classic Nicolette.
Sounds like somebody you don't want to cross.
No. You gotta respect the service industry, especially in a volcano bank.
Especially in a volcano bank.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what else we got? There's another place called A Dash of Splash, which is run by nymphs and has a relaxing hot spring bath, which sounds really nice.
Yeah, that's what I call luxury.
Right.
Sign me up.
But, like, here's where they get you, right? It says that the ground level view from the second floor is an illusion.
Okay.
And it just makes you wonder, what is up with reality in this place? Like, is it all an illusion?
It's very Matrixy.
Yeah, exactly.
But with more slime creatures, apparently.
Mm-mm.
All right. So we got to talk about the world outside of the Black Bank because, I mean, the volcano can't be the only interesting thing on this planet.
Oh, absolutely not. The volcano is really just the tip of the iceberg here. So the game takes place on a planet called Vela of War,
Okay.
which has 2 moons.
2 moons. Now, that is just showing off. I'm already sold.
Right. And surrounding the Black Bank is this area called the Black Forest, which is not like a peaceful little nature walk.
Okay, so what are we talking? Dangerous creatures, hidden temples. Like, give me the good stuff.
So the design document describes it as this constantly shifting landscape, which is, beautiful, but also super dangerous. It's full of what they call encounter tables, where it sounds like you're basically rolling a die to see what you encounter.
Okay.
And it could be anything from a treasure chest
Nice.
to a psychic squirrel.
Hold on. Did you say a psychic squirrel?
A psychic squirrel. That's what it says.
Okay, see, this is what I love about these deep dives into these design docs.
Yeah.
You get into the mind of the creator. It's like, who else would come up with a psychic squirrel?
It's very creative.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the encounters aren't just random. They're like very intentionally designed to make you weigh the risk and reward, which I like a lot.
Okay.
Because it's like, do I play it safe and stay on the path, or do I risk it?
Yeah, do you risk it for the chance it's some awesome loot or to maybe like jog your memory a little bit?
Maybe, yeah. Like,
Maybe.
is the key to your past, like, behind that psychic squirrel? Who knows?
You know.
But it's a cool design choice. And then remember that road we were talking about that kind of cuts through the forest?
Yeah.
So it sounds like that leads to something called the crossroads, which, based on the document, it's not really clear what that is.
Oh, I like that.
It could be like a trading hub.
Right.
It could be a gateway to another dimension.
It could be a TGI Fridays.
Maybe. They don't say.
Okay. All right.
But I like that they leave it open-ended. Because it's like you have this whole contained world in the Black Bank, but it's like hinting that there's something else beyond that.
Yeah, like the world is bigger than just this volcano, which I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's smart.
Okay, so we've got this bizarre volcano bank town. We've got the mysteries of the Black Forest and whatever lies beyond at the crossroads. But you can't explore on an empty stomach, so let's talk about the economics of the Black Bank. So you're stuck in this bank, nobody knows who they are, and you need money to get out. And it's not like you can just walk up to a teller and be like, hey, can I get a withdrawal? How do people actually make a living in this volcano bank town?
Well, that's where the game's economic system comes in, and it's actually pretty in-depth. Like, they clearly put a lot of thought into this. The design document goes into a bunch of different ways that you can earn your keep, so to speak, in the Black Bank. So if you're feeling adventurous, there's always the Adventurers Guild.
Tell me more about this Adventurers Guild. It sounds promising,
Yeah.
but we both know there's always a catch with these things.
Right, there's always a catch. So in this case, it's a registration fee to join up. Then there's monthly dues
Okay.
if you want to keep going into their dungeon.
The Adventurer's Dungeon. Yeah, the document mentions it, but it doesn't really go into specifics. So what do you think? What's lurking down there?
It's one of those things where I think they leave it vague on purpose, but it's obviously like a big part of the game, right? I mean, who doesn't love a good dungeon crawl?
Exactly.
But yeah, maybe it's where you get like rare materials for crafting.
Okay.
Or who knows, maybe it's crawling with those bounties they mentioned.
Bounties, yes. That Grimlaw character sounds particularly nasty, although 1,500 gold reward.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. But let's say dungeon crawling's not really my style.
Yeah.
What are some of the more, I don't know, conventional job opportunities in the Black Bank?
Totally. Well, for one, someone's got to clean those foricus.
Roman bathhouses.
Exactly. With the slime creatures.
With the slime creatures?
Sign me up. Not the most glamorous job, but hey, a paycheck's a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Or, if you're looking for something with maybe a little more personality, you could always work at Heroes Hall, maybe as like a barback or something.
I could only imagine what working for King Buddy and Nicolette is like.
Oh, it'd be an experience, that's for sure.
Yeah.
If you want something more official, you could always look into getting a license.
A license
Yeah.
inside the volcano. What kind of licenses are we talking here?
Oh, yeah, they've got them for everything. Hunting, fishing, trading. They've even got mixology licenses.
Mixology licenses.
Right.
Wow.
It's hilarious. It's like they really wanted to create this sense of like, bureaucracy, even within this totally fantastical setting.
It makes you wonder, though, like, why even go through all the trouble? If everyone's got amnesia, like, wouldn't it be easier to just scrap it all and start over? No rules.
That's such a good question. And it kind of gets to like the heart of what the Black Bank even is. Like, is this elaborate society just a way of like coping with this collective amnesia? Or is it something more calculated than that?
Right. Like, is somebody benefiting from the fact that everyone's forgotten who they are?
Exactly. It's like, who's pulling the strings here, right?
Okay, now my brain is really working.
I do.
This is great. But it always comes back to that same question. Why are WE here? What brought us to this volcano bank with no memory of who we are or how we got here?
And that's what I like so much about this design document. It gives you all these details. It really sucks you into this world.
Yeah.
But then it also leaves you with more questions than answers, you know?
For sure. Like, you get that little snippet of the opening scene, you drink a potion, you feel that falling sensation, and you hear a voice calling out. Very Alice in Wonderland, but make it finance.
It's a classic for a
Yeah.
reason. But it's the way they weave it into this world, into all the game mechanics that really make it work.
100%. And at the end of the day, it's not just about uncovering the secrets of the Black Bank, it's about uncovering the secrets of your own past. And who knows, maybe a psychic squirrel holds the key to unlocking your memories, or maybe it's just a really good cup of coffee at Heroes Hall. Whatever your story is, one thing's for sure, the Black Bank is more than just a game, it's an invitation to adventure.